Hello, esteemed gentlemen. Every villain has an origin story, and sometimes it starts with a Sigma male minding his business. You'd think being quiet, independent, and unbothered would make people admire you. But for Sigma males, it somehow does the opposite. There's something about their energy, calm, unreadable, and borderline unfazed, that flips a switch in people's brains. And not in a, wow, he's mysterious kind of way. More like, why does he exist outside our drama, and who gave him permission? Here's a fact most people won't admit. Humans are wired to distrust what they can't predict. Studies show that even a 3-second delay in emotional expression can make others feel threatened. Now, imagine someone like a Sigma male who delays that expression by, well, forever. It's almost comedic. The Sigma doesn't need to say a word, raise an eyebrow, or even look in anyone's direction. He could be standing there, silently contemplating the meaning of life, or wondering why grown adults get angry over Wi-Fi passwords. And somehow, someone in the room is already offended. But make no mistake, these disgusting habits aren't about dirt or hygiene. They're psychological patterns, subconscious triggers, and social landmines that Sigma males step on without even noticing. And the fallout? Instant dislike, instant irritation, instant hate. So before it's too late, and before you unintentionally become that guy everyone secretly resents, let's expose the habits that make people snap, judge, and misinterpret Sigma males every single day. Brace yourself. This is about to get honest, brutally honest. Number 1. They don't pretend to like people they don't. One of the most infuriating traits about Sigma males is their refusal to fake connection. Most people have mastered the art of social camouflage. They smile when they're annoyed, nod when they don't agree, laugh when they don't find something funny. It's exhausting, but it's how society operates. The Sigma male, however, doesn't play that game. If he doesn't like someone, if he doesn't resonate with their energy, he doesn't pretend otherwise. There's no forced friendliness, no fake politeness, and no sugarcoating to make others feel comfortable. He simply exists in his own space, unaffected by the expectation to fit in emotionally. This behavior drives certain people absolutely insane. They're used to everyone bending slightly, adjusting their tone, their expressions, their presence to make others feel good. The Sigma male ignores that entire rulebook. He will listen when he wants to, engage when he feels like it, and withdraw without explanation if someone's presence or energy doesn't sit right with him. This can come across as arrogance, snobbery, or even cruelty to those who rely on validation from everyone around them. But the truth is, the Sigma male isn't out to hurt anyone. He just doesn't see the point in wasting energy on people he doesn't connect with. What makes it worse for others is the transparency of it. Unlike passive-aggressive behavior or hidden resentment, the Sigma male's disinterest is clear. People feel it instantly, like a chill in the air they can't control. The more socially dependent someone is, the more they will misinterpret this natural boundary as an attack, a personal slight, or a challenge to their self-worth. Meanwhile, the Sigma remains utterly unbothered, focused on his own growth, projects, and thoughts. This refusal to pretend isn't just a habit, it's a statement. It's a declaration that his time, energy, and attention are not commodities to be bought by charm, manipulation, or social pressure. And while most people will despise him for it, that very habit is what sets the Sigma apart, making him unshakable, authentic, and terrifyingly indifferent to approval. It's honesty at its rawest, and it cuts deeper than any insult ever could. Number 2. They walk away from arguments they already won in their mind. One of the most frustrating things about Sigma males is how effortlessly they dismantle arguments without ever needing to prove themselves to anyone. Most people feel the need to win verbally, to argue until the other person folds, or until everyone in the room acknowledges their point. Not the Sigma. The moment he identifies the truth, he doesn't linger to gloat, debate endlessly, or explain himself. He simply steps back, exits the conversation, and lets the result speak for itself. To those caught in the argument, it feels like a punch to the ego. They're left talking to a space where the Sigma used to be, wondering how someone could just leave. This behavior drives people crazy because it breaks the unspoken social rules. Society expects engagement, participation, and sometimes performative effort in discussions. When a Sigma male doesn't comply, it feels like disrespect. They see it as arrogance. They interpret it as condescension. They whisper about it behind his back. But in reality, the Sigma has nothing to prove. He doesn't need approval, validation, or acknowledgement to know his position is correct. The conversation is over in his mind the second the logic lines up, long before others have caught on. What makes it even more maddening is the efficiency with which he does it. He doesn't argue for the sake of ego or entertainment. He doesn't belabor the point. He doesn't circle back for reminders. He recognizes futility and cuts it off at the root, leaving others scrambling to find the closure or validation they crave. This silence after a verbal victory carries a weight far heavier than any shouted rebuttal. It's a psychological mic drop that lingers long after the room has moved on. Walking away like this is a habit that stems from his detachment from the approval of others. He measures himself against his own standards, not anyone else's. And while people often react with irritation, judgment, or envy, this is exactly what makes the Sigma male untouchable. He doesn't need to explain, justify, or perform. He simply knows. And the knowledge that someone has already won without a fight makes people hate him, often more than they would if he had argued all night and been wrong. It's mastery disguised as indifference, and it's brutally effective. Number 3. They notice micro-inconsistencies. Sigma males have an uncanny ability to pick up on the smallest shifts in behavior, tone, or energy, and most people don't even realize they're giving these signals. It's not a conscious effort to scrutinize others. It's simply the way their minds operate. They notice when a laugh is forced, when enthusiasm is feigned, when someone's eyes briefly flick toward their phone while pretending to be fully engaged. To the casual observer, these details seem insignificant, but the Sigma male registers them instantly, filing them away like a silent inventory of authenticity. This habit makes people deeply uncomfortable because it exposes a truth most would rather hide. People are used to being able to perform in social settings, to present themselves in the best light, to hide nervousness, deceit, or insecurity behind smiles, jokes, or small talk. The Sigma's awareness cuts through all of that effortlessly. He doesn't call it out directly or shame anyone. His mere presence is enough to make people feel seen in ways they weren't prepared for. And the more someone depends on social masking, the more threatened they feel by him. What's especially irritating to others is that the Sigma male doesn't overreact or dramatize these observations. He doesn't announce, "I see what you're doing." He simply notes it, adjusts his behavior if necessary, and continues. The effect, however, is profound. People feel exposed, judged, or even subtly manipulated, not because the Sigma male has attacked them, but because he has observed them with surgical precision. Their discomfort is a reflection of their own insecurities, and they often blame him for it. This ability to detect micro-inconsistencies makes the Sigma a dangerous presence in any social scenario. He inadvertently unmasks pretenses, falsities, and hidden agendas, leaving people uneasy without knowing why. It's not malice, it's not judgment, it's awareness. And awareness in a world built on illusions makes people uncomfortable, jealous, and sometimes outright hostile. The Sigma male doesn't seek conflict, but by simply noticing what others hide, he becomes someone people can't ignore, can't control, and often can't stand. His quiet observation is more disarming than any loud confrontation, and that silent power is what makes him both magnetic and infuriating at the same time. Number 4. They don't break their pace for anyone. One of the most infuriating traits of Sigma males is their unshakable rhythm. Whether they are walking down the street, working on a project, or thinking through a problem, they move at their own speed, dictated by their own priorities. They don't slow down to match the pace of others, they don't rush to meet expectations, and they don't pause for social convenience. This stubborn consistency is more than just a habit. It's a statement. It says, without words, that their time, energy, and focus are theirs alone. And anyone who wants in has to respect that. For people who thrive on social synchronization, this is maddening. Most individuals unconsciously expect everyone to adjust around them, to meet their tempo, to accommodate their timing. A Sigma male doesn't. If someone is walking too slowly, they pass without hesitation. If someone demands attention or input when he's absorbed, he either responds briefly or ignores it entirely. If a meeting or conversation drags because others can't keep up, he remains unflustered, following his internal clock while others scramble to catch up. This can make him seem cold, impatient, or even rude, but it's not personal. It's simply how he operates. What makes this trait even more infuriating is its subtle psychological impact. People feel invisible, frustrated, and undervalued because the Sigma refuses to alter his rhythm for them. The world seems to revolve at their pace, and they are suddenly confronted with someone who exists entirely on different terms. They can't control him, can't predict him, and can't force him to conform. This unbending pace is also a form of silent power. It communicates confidence, independence, and self-sufficiency without a single word. It shows that he's in command of his life and doesn't need validation or compromise to keep moving forward. While many resent him for it, this is exactly what sets a Sigma male apart. He is untouchable, uncatchable, and unbothered by the impatience or irritation of others. His life moves to his own beat, and everyone else is left scrambling to keep up, often with feelings of inadequacy or resentment lingering long after he's gone. Number 5. They reveal people's true colors without confrontation. Sigma males have a rare kind of presence that forces honesty out of people without a single word. They don't interrogate, accuse, or challenge, yet somehow people end up revealing who they really are. This isn't manipulation, it's the natural effect of their energy. When someone is used to performing, hiding insecurities, or pretending to be more competent or confident than they actually are, the Sigma male exposes the cracks simply by existing. People start acting differently around him, subtly or overtly, because they feel the weight of his awareness. Their masks slip, their pretenses falter, and the truth comes out naturally. This makes the Sigma male terrifying and infuriating at the same time. For those who rely on deception, charm, or social manipulation to navigate life, his mere presence is destabilizing. They hate him for it because he doesn't have to do anything actively to disrupt their carefully constructed facades. He doesn't call anyone out, doesn't gossip, doesn't try to assert superiority. He just embodies authenticity so thoroughly that others are forced to confront the reality of who they are. It's like he shines a light without touching a switch, and suddenly everyone's flaws are illuminated. What's even more unsettling is that people often don't realize they've revealed themselves until it's too late. A Sigma male doesn't take notes or gossip about what he observes. He simply adjusts his interactions accordingly, remaining detached and composed while everyone else scrambles internally. The discomfort is theirs alone. They feel exposed, vulnerable, and in many cases, ashamed. And because this happens without confrontation, they can't redirect their frustration outward in a normal way. They can't argue, debate, or fight back effectively. This habit makes people both wary and resentful of Sigma males. They are drawn to their confidence, but simultaneously intimidated by the truth the Sigma forces them to face. His power lies in invisibly unmasking those around him, making him unshakable in social situations. People hate it, fear it, and can't control it. And that's exactly why a Sigma male always operates a step above the chaos of ordinary social games. Number 6. They don't apologize for living in their own world. Sigma males exist on a plane that most people simply can't comprehend. They don't conform, they don't explain themselves, and they certainly don't apologize for being different. While society expects constant compromise, reassurance, and validation, the Sigma operates according to his own rules, priorities, and rhythm. He doesn't adjust just to make others comfortable, and he doesn't seek approval for existing on his own terms. This independence, while quietly powerful, drives many people insane because it challenges their expectations of how humans should behave. People often interpret this as arrogance or rudeness, but it's something deeper than attitude. It's a mindset. The Sigma male doesn't apologize for thinking differently, for prioritizing his own goals, or for maintaining boundaries that others see as inconvenient. He doesn't temper his existence to accommodate insecurity or entitlement. He simply lives in his own world, and anyone who tries to pull him into theirs quickly realizes he won't bend. This creates an invisible tension in social spaces. People feel rejected or dismissed, even though the Sigma isn't actively engaging with them at all. What makes this habit infuriating to others is its quiet, uncompromising nature. There's no confrontation, no dramatics, and no justification. He doesn't need to convince anyone of his reasoning because, in his mind, there's nothing to defend. To the average person, this looks like coldness or superiority, but in reality, it's authenticity in its purest form. He prioritizes his mental space, focus, and autonomy over social appeasement, and that refusal to conform unsettles everyone who thrives on control or recognition. This refusal to apologize or explain doesn't just set the Sigma apart, it protects him. It ensures that his energy isn't wasted on people or systems that drain him. And while many will resent him for it, those who understand it recognize a rare form of freedom. Someone who exists entirely on their own terms, unapologetically and untouchably. It's a habit that generates hatred from those who demand conformity, but it's also the defining trait that makes a Sigma male impossible to manipulate, impossible to control, and impossible to ignore. Number 7. They look at people like data, not individuals. One of the most unnerving things about Sigma males is how they observe people, not with emotional attachment or social obligation, but with the cold precision of someone analyzing data. They don't see roles, titles, or the masks people wear. They see behavior, patterns, inconsistencies, and potential outcomes. Every word, every gesture, every fleeting expression is logged, assessed, and filed. This makes their presence quietly intimidating because they don't react the way most people expect. While others crave validation and emotional reciprocity, the Sigma male operates on a higher plane of observation, seeing people for what they actually are, not for what they pretend to be. This habit drives many people crazy because it feels invasive without ever being overt. Most social interactions are performative. People adjust their tone, posture, and expression to fit expectations. The Sigma male sees through all of it, and he doesn't sugarcoat his observations for anyone's comfort. He doesn't smile at insincerity, he doesn't applaud shallow success, and he doesn't tolerate pretension. His awareness is precise and unflinching, and that makes people feel exposed and vulnerable, even when he says nothing at all. What makes it even more unsettling is that the Sigma doesn't make his judgments obvious. He doesn't confront or humiliate. He simply absorbs, analyzes, and adjusts his own behavior accordingly. To the untrained eye, this can seem like indifference, arrogance, or even superiority. But the truth is, the Sigma male isn't concerned with hierarchy, popularity, or social approval. He values authenticity and efficiency, and anyone who can't meet his standards is simply noted and moved past without effort. This way of observing people like data also gives the Sigma an edge in every environment, social, professional, or personal. He anticipates motives, recognizes hidden agendas, and detects inconsistencies long before anyone else notices. While most people react with resentment or fear, the Sigma male remains untouched, moving through interactions with surgical precision. People hate it because it forces them to confront the reality of their behavior, their intentions, and their shortcomings, often without realizing it. The silent, analytical gaze of a Sigma male is not just observation, it's a mirror that reflects uncomfortable truths, and most can't handle looking into it. Number 8. Their logic kills. Everyone's emotional high. One of the most infuriating things about Sigma males is the way their logic cuts through emotional chaos like a knife. While most people rely on feelings, assumptions, or social scripts to navigate conflict or conversation, the Sigma male approaches everything with cold, unrelenting clarity. He dissects arguments, exposes contradictions, and highlights inconsistencies without any regard for emotional comfort. This doesn't come from a desire to hurt. It's simply the way he processes the world. And for anyone riding a wave of emotion, anger, excitement, or even dramatic flair, this approach feels like an immediate deflation, a sudden splash of cold water that kills the energy in the room. People hate it because it's unavoidable. You can't charm a Sigma male into overlooking illogical reasoning. You can't manipulate him with dramatics, and you certainly can't guilt him into empathy that doesn't align with truth. He responds to reality as it is, not as others wish it to be. When someone is building momentum on an emotional argument, expecting validation or consensus, the Sigma male will calmly, methodically dismantle it with precise reasoning. That emotional high that felt so powerful, so justified, crumbles instantly, leaving people feeling exposed, frustrated, and often resentful. What makes it even more maddening is the detachment with which he does it. There's no raising of the voice, no condescension, no overt triumph. He simply states facts, points out contradictions, or asks the right questions. The room feels deflated, not because he attacked anyone personally, but because he ignored the unwritten rules of emotional entertainment that everyone else follows. This habit isolates him socially, but it's also his strength. While others get caught up in petty feelings or drama, the Sigma male stays grounded in clarity, truth, and efficiency. He doesn't waste energy on false narratives or inflated emotions, and that makes him appear untouchable, intimidating, and sometimes brutally unapproachable. People hate it because it forces them to confront the reality they've been avoiding, and the Sigma doesn't even flinch while doing it. His logic doesn't negotiate, it doesn't bend, and it doesn't apologize, and that's exactly why it's so deadly in social spaces. Number 9. They don't hide their disgust for manipulative behavior. One of the traits that makes Sigma males instantly infuriating to some people is their brutal honesty when it comes to manipulation. Most people can get away with bending the truth, twisting situations, or playing mind games, and society often rewards this behavior with attention, influence, or temporary power. Sigma males don't participate in that game, and more than that, they don't pretend to tolerate it. They notice it, they judge it internally, and they respond in ways that make manipulators extremely uncomfortable. Their lack of patience for deception and subtle power plays is so clear that anyone attempting manipulation feels immediately exposed. People hate it because the Sigma male doesn't sugarcoat his reaction to manipulation. He doesn't grin, nod, or play along. He doesn't laugh off attempts to deceive or charm him. His body language, tone, and even his silence communicate a clear message. He sees through your tactics, and he doesn't respect them. For those used to controlling situations through cleverness or subtle coercion, this is infuriating. It's like their entire social strategy has been invalidated without a single word, leaving them scrambling to recover, adjust, or justify themselves. What makes it even more unsettling is the Sigma's indifference. He isn't doing it to prove a point or start conflict. He simply refuses to engage in games that waste his energy. The manipulator's frustration grows because the Sigma male is untouchable in his integrity. He can't be swayed, coerced, or flattered. People around him sense this power, even if they can't articulate it. It's subtle, yet devastating, an invisible barrier that exposes dishonesty while remaining unshakable. This habit isolates Sigma males socially, but it also gives them an undeniable edge. They operate without deception, without reliance on influence, and without concern for social approval. People hate them for it because they force authenticity to the surface, challenge manipulative dynamics, and silently dismantle control structures others take for granted. Their disgust isn't aggressive, it's observational and unflinching, but it's enough to make manipulators feel powerless, frustrated, and deeply irritated, leaving the Sigma male untouchable in a world built on cunning and pretense. Number 10. They cut off energy vampires instantly. One of the most infuriating traits of Sigma males is their ruthless ability to detect and cut off energy vampires without hesitation. While most people tolerate draining individuals, colleagues who complain endlessly, friends who demand constant validation, or acquaintances who thrive on chaos, the Sigma male doesn't waste a second. He recognizes the cost of letting these people linger and silently, almost invisibly, removes them from his mental and physical space. There's no dramatics, no confrontation, no need for explanation. He simply disengages, and that action alone drives others crazy because they can't predict it or control it. People hate it because energy vampires are usually skilled at creating subtle dependency. They manipulate, guilt, or charm their way into attention, often making everyone around them feel obligated or exhausted. The Sigma male sees right through it, and his refusal to participate exposes the manipulator's tactics instantly. The person who once thrived on influence now finds themselves ignored, dismissed, or bypassed entirely. There's no argument, no negotiation, no chance to sway him, just a quiet, decisive boundary that leaves the energy vampire scrambling and frustrated. What makes this habit even more provocative is its efficiency. The Sigma male doesn't linger on judgment or debate the morality of cutting someone off. He evaluates impact versus energy cost, and if the balance is negative, he disengages. To the outside observer, this can seem cold, harsh, or even arrogant. It isn't personal, it's survival. He guards his time, focus, and emotional bandwidth as fiercely as anyone guards their life, and he won't allow anyone to drain it unnecessarily. This ability makes Sigma males both envied and feared. People hate them for refusing to play the social games that maintain dependency or drama, but this exact habit is what keeps the Sigma male untouchable. While others get worn down, distracted, or manipulated, he remains unbothered, efficient, and in control. Cutting off energy vampires isn't just a habit, it's a survival mechanism, a declaration of independence, and a demonstration of a clarity and discipline that most people can't even comprehend. It's brutally effective, quietly powerful, and entirely non-negotiable. Number 11, they don't overshare, so people think they're hiding something. One of the most unnerving habits of Sigma males is their extreme discretion. They don't feel the need to broadcast every thought, feeling, or achievement to the world, and they rarely volunteer personal information unless it serves a purpose. In a society where oversharing is normalized, social media updates, constant commentary, and personal anecdotes, this silence stands out like a neon sign. People notice it immediately, and instead of respecting the privacy, they become suspicious. If the Sigma male doesn't talk about his life, people assume he's hiding secrets, scheming, or somehow playing a long game, even when he's simply living on his own terms. This habit creates an invisible tension around him. People are conditioned to interpret silence as a sign of vulnerability or deceit. When the Sigma male doesn't overshare, it triggers unease. Conversations with him feel like navigating a room full of invisible rules. You don't know where the line is, what's off limits, or what he might be thinking. That uncertainty makes people uncomfortable, anxious, and sometimes even resentful. They feel compelled to probe, pry, or guess, and his refusal to indulge them fuels irritation further. What makes this trait even more infuriating is that the Sigma male doesn't try to manipulate perceptions. He isn't deliberately mysterious, he simply values his mental space, his focus, and his independence. His privacy isn't a game, it's a boundary. Yet others interpret it as arrogance, secrecy, or superiority, because they are used to people performing openness as a form of social currency. The Sigma doesn't participate in that performative culture, and that refusal unsettles anyone who thrives on gossip, influence, or social transparency. This habit ultimately amplifies the Sigma male's power. By maintaining a personal world that few fully see, he controls what energy enters his life and who gets access to him. People hate it because it makes him unpredictable, untouchable, and impossible to read. His silence isn't emptiness, it's strategy, independence, and mastery of self. And while others might misinterpret it as aloofness or deception, it is in reality a quiet but lethal force that keeps him unshakable in a world full of noise and intrusion. Number 12. They only respect what makes sense, not your status. One of the most frustrating traits of Sigma males is their total disregard for social hierarchies and titles. While most people automatically extend respect based on status, popularity, or external achievements, the Sigma male doesn't follow those rules. A fancy job, a flashy car, or a room full of admirers doesn't impress him. What matters is logic, competence, and authenticity. If you claim to be important, but can't back it up with substance, he sees right through it, and he doesn't hesitate to treat you accordingly. This drives people insane because society is wired to reward appearances and authority. Most people expect compliance, deference, or admiration from others simply because they occupy a position of power or influence. The Sigma male doesn't play that game. He doesn't care about titles, networks, or social currency. He evaluates everything on its own merit. That refusal to bow to illusions of power exposes pretension and arrogance instantly, leaving the person relying on those constructs feeling foolish and frustrated. What makes this trait particularly infuriating is how quietly and effortlessly the Sigma demonstrates it. He doesn't need to argue, lecture, or make a scene. He simply interacts, or chooses not to, with people based on what makes sense, not who they pretend to be. If someone's reasoning, skills, or behavior doesn't meet his standards, he disengages without fuss. To the untrained eye, this can seem cold, judgmental, or even disrespectful. But in reality, it's a reflection of his commitment to authenticity and efficiency. This habit gives the Sigma male a rare form of social power. He is untouchable by superficial influence because he respects only substance. People hate him for it because it challenges everything they've been taught about control, hierarchy, and leverage. The Sigma's indifference to status exposes weaknesses, insecurities, and the hollowness behind facades, making him intimidating, unapproachable, and entirely independent. In a world obsessed with appearances, this kind of selective respect is not just unusual, it's threatening, and that's exactly why Sigma males command quiet, undeniable authority wherever they go. Sigma males are a paradox wrapped in silence, independence, and unwavering self-possession. The habits we've explored today, everything from refusing to fake connection, walking away from arguments already won in their minds, noticing subtle inconsistencies, to cutting off energy vampires instantly, aren't flaws. They are the hallmarks of a mind operating on a different wavelength, a presence that refuses to conform to social scripts, and a spirit that prioritizes authenticity over approval. These traits make them unshakable, magnetic, and for many, infuriatingly untouchable. The truth is, most people can't handle the Sigma male because he exposes the uncomfortable realities they try so hard to hide: pretension, dependency, manipulation, and hollow social games. He doesn't explain, justify, or apologize for existing on his own terms. His world operates according to principles, logic, and personal standards, not societal expectations. And that is exactly why he provokes such intense reactions, often hatred, from those who feel threatened by the sheer authenticity and control he embodies. But here's the thing. While people might despise or fear these habits, they are the very reasons Sigma males thrive in chaos, remain untouchable in social dynamics, and wield a quiet power that no amount of status, popularity, or influence can touch. These traits are not weaknesses. They are survival strategies, silent weapons, and unmistakable signatures of a man who refuses to compromise his mind, his energy, or his independence for anyone. So if you've watched this far, you now understand what makes Sigma males so misunderstood, feared, and yes, even hated. Recognize it, respect it, and maybe even learn from it, but never try to change it. If this video opened your eyes, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss insights that challenge your understanding of power, independence, and human behavior. Like this video if it shook your perspective, comment below with the habit that shocked you the most, and share it with anyone who needs a reality check about the untouchable force of a Sigma male. The world may not understand them, but now you at least do.